What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross Present, the Yeah, I Said It podcast, where we're expressing our full capabilities until they want us in correctional facilities. Brainchild of my child, I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, introduce yourself to the folk.
I prayed to my enemies. I told the Lord to bless the both of us. Well, what's up, everybody? Everybody's having a good week and all. It's been a crazy week, but sit back, relax. Let's get to it.
All right, so in honor of baseball's opening day, in honor of the greatest team in professional sports history with a staggering 27 world titles, the greatest team from the world's greatest city, from the glorious Empire State. Yes, indeed, it's time to rep the Yankees. There are three kinds of fans. There are Yankees fans, there are Mets fans, and then there's everyone who should have been a Yankee fan. My condolences if you are not. This is the all hail New York section of the podcast. Had to get that out the way. But you look unmoved, sir. You look unmoved. Come on. Yankees, baby. Pinstripes. Come on. 27 world titles, going for number 28. Where you at?
Well, some titles were won before you were born, so I don't want to hear
it. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. I mean, you know what? Given the baseball team where you're at, I'd be a little salty too. It's okay.
They serve good crab fries. Them joints is good.
Yeah, and the stadium sells out every time the Yankees come to town. Oh.
Yeah, because the Yankees pay for everybody. They got all the stars. They're the monster.
Actually, they don't do the whole all payroll thing anymore. They're spending conservatively. They're getting good players for the money. And the thing is, we all know as long as the Yankees are healthy, it's a wrap. Judge got to stay healthy. Stan's got to stay healthy. So, and to be fair, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I'm a Yankee fan. There's a difference. There's a Yankee fan. There's a difference.
I don't care about baseball unless I'm watching it like I'm actually there. Other than that, I can't watch it on TV. It's boring as hell. But yeah.
I don't care about baseball unless the Yankees are playing. And then, Mets close second. All hell New York. But to get into some real things, it's been, like you said, a very interesting week. We're going to talk about one thing because I'm curious how you feel, because you are always the naysayer in matters like this. So I'm curious how you feel. Derek Chauvin, let us be very, very clear here. This is the Derek Chauvin trial. This is not, because I think we subconsciously get a little programmed in focusing on this George Floyd trial. No. George Floyd is dead. George Floyd was murdered. The person who did it, that's who's on trial. So let's say that name. Let us not forget the legacy of George Floyd. Let us not forget he was the human that was murdered by this pig, or in this case, ex-pig. But yeah, we're going to say Derek Chauvin trial because he's the one rightfully so up for murder. And I think one of the most damning pieces of evidence came from one of the top cops there, the longest serving police officer in Minnesota Police Department. And I'm quoting right from a New York Times article. Says what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd was a violation of policy. No shit, Sherlock. B, well, that's very good to know. that's very good to know that there's actually policies in place that preclude your ability to sit on someone's neck for 9 minutes. That's good. I firmly believe, though, this beyond question. I told you this would happen. I don't know if you were skeptical or not. You're still skeptical about Kyle Rittenhouse. I think he's going to fry too. I think a lot of dominoes are starting to fall. I think people are starting to get tired of the bullshit when it comes to a lot of things. People are getting tired of bullshit when it comes to not having a living wage. People are getting tired of bullshit when it comes to leaving college with $100,000 in student debt and your first job pays you $15 an hour. And people are finally getting tired of the bullshit when it comes to these pigs. So I am all in. I have 100% chance of this pig being convicted and going to jail for life? Where are you on it?
95%. But that's still high. He's still probably gonna fry. I'm just not 100% because you can never
How?
trust this social justice system that we have. But
How can
but I think, like I said, 95% is still high enough where he's still gonna fry. So I agree with you on that. Like, they have to, because this ain't no ordinary trial. This is a trial that set off the world. The world got on fire. Everyone in the world was protesting. Everyone in the world was outraged. So yes, he has to be made an example of, because if he doesn't, the world is going to fry again if he walks. So, but yeah, I think he's done for. I don't know about Kylan right now. So I don't think he's going to fry.
Oh, he's
I don't think he's
he's
going to.
absolutely
I don't
you
think
killed two people. He's gonna
it's self defense.
he's
It's
up
self
next.
defense.
He's up next. He's
And
gonna fry. He's up
self-defense. If
next.
anything, his mom should be charged for that more than he should. That's self-defense. We already been through this. We seen the lawyer or whatever say that everything he did was in self-defense. Technically, he shouldn't have been there. That should be one of the problems. His mom shouldn't have took him there. But he's Kyle Rittenhouse ain't gonna fry. This dude's gonna fry. This dude's gonna fry. But Kyle Rittenhouse, I highly doubt he's gonna fry. I doubt it.
I wanna piggyback on something you just said though. I think it's important to clarify because that's the thing. Sometimes things get tried in the court of public opinion, right? It's how it looks. It's the optics is the new word that a lot of media folks like to use. The optics, and it's exactly like you said. Someone has to be made an example of. That ain't this though. There is no, from based on the bits I've seen from the trial, there is no scientific anything that justifies what we saw Derek Chauvin do. There's no wiggle room. There's nothing. You can try all day to say, well, it was the drugs. Well, he was high. You sat on his fucking neck for 9 minutes. Sober, you'd still die. Let's pretend it was drugs. Sober, if someone sits with their knee on your neck, their body weight on your neck for 9 minutes, you're probably going to die. So this is called due process. This is called you're going to have your day in court. I am honestly shocked that there was no plea or anything. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't even know how you can mount a defense in this case. You literally executed a man slowly.
As he begged
I
for
mean,
life. That's terrible.
I'll tell you what. Let's just do this then. Let's handcuff Derek. Let's sit him on the asphalt and let me put my knee on his neck for 9 minutes. If he lives, there you go. You're good. Somehow I don't think you would though. So I don't want the impression to be that this is, well, he's got to be made an example of. No, this ain't that. You don't have to make an example per se. A precedent has to be set that these pigs can't continue to do what they do. But no, this one isn't making an example of. This one is good old fashioned justice.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. But yeah. He's gonna fry, like I said, because the circumstances, if you don't fry him and he somehow walks, is going to be tremendously bad. So that's why I said he had no matter, even if I understand what you're saying, that you can't make a case for him at all, but you already know how these cops will do, and how most situations are, they still find a way. So hopefully, and most likely, it won't be a way, and he'll fry. Because if he does, world will be on fire again.
I mean, I will tell you this. Now that I think about it, you kind of have a point. I want everyone to rewind time 30 years ago. And with the case that kind of set a lot of this in motion, we literally saw, we literally saw these pigs. I had to correct myself. We literally saw these pigs beat the hell out of Rodney King. And he's on his hands and knees just trying to, I can't even say fight off, when it's 4 or 5 folks with nightsticks going upside your head the best you can do is just try to cover up a little bit. And those four pigs walked, which summarily led to the LA riots. That was 92. Which ironically, and which ironically led to the bubbling over of the tension between blacks and Asians. So it's very interesting how much has changed in 30 years. Now, I'm not touching the Stop Asian Hate part. I'm not saying that's not valid. I think the rally cry is a little off. We need to recognize the thing that causes this, the root causes, because Asians, blacks, Latinos, we all have a very common enemy. Anybody want to raise their hand and say what our common enemy is? Okay. Would anyone in the class like to explain what our common enemy is? No. Yeah, if you for those watching at home, if you don't know, it's not just Stop Asian Hate, because it's just stop white supremacy, period. So as you always say, two things can be true. We have an issue where we need to stop Asian hate, but we also need to never take our foot off the gas and understand white supremacy is problematic for anyone who is not white. Then the classism piece becomes an issue for everyone who is not rich. Funny how these two things coincide. But circling back to where we started, it's just interesting. You do have a point. 30 years ago, we saw Rodney King get the shit beat out of him by these pigs, and somehow they all walked. It's four of them, guns, nightsticks, everything. Yeah. And somehow they walked.
It didn't help with Rodney saying, "Can we all get along?" But yeah, I hear you.
I can't necessarily say that. Because
I mean that's his person. If he's willing to forgive that, then that's on him. But I'm just saying, it probably didn't help the court of opinion for him basically saying, "Let's keep the peace. It's cool. It happened. It's over with." I'm just my personal opinion. That's me.
But that was after the trial though. Like that was after the fact. But it's just I can't listen. Martin Luther King was about peace. Gandhi was about peace. I get it. I know there's some issues with Gandhi, obviously. Lenin's Imagine is about peace. Like the objective, the thing is, peace is the goal. The thing we also need to understand, though, it seems like with what we're dealing with, you're not going to get to peace without bloodshed. There's no such thing. And I forgot where the quote comes from. There's no such thing as a bloodless revolution. I think the notion of we're going to count on the humanity of the oppressor is passe, because that's a lot of what we do. We count on them seeing us as human, seeing us as worthwhile, seeing our lives as worthwhile. And if that were ever the case, there would not be a reason for Black Lives Matter. So I don't knock Rodney for asking for peace. That's the point. But I don't think we get there unless, sadly, certain shit gets burned down.
I agree. But I mean, I think peace. I think there's if everyone just thought, they just sat back, thought, hear my imagined voice, and just really had a simple conversation, got to understand one another, there could be peace without bloodshed. If we truly evolve and really think about stuff on a broad scope of things. But like you said, no, they don't really see us as humans or being equals. So since we're not being seen as humans or equals, peace will never come peacefully, which is stupid because it really can be. All it takes is a conversation. Most of these issues take conversations, and then boom, we understand each other, we get each other's side, and then boom, there you go. Peace. But yeah, I agree with you. It's sad it has to be this way, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It is what it is.
I mean, and it's just I think the underpinning of it all, I've said it numerous times on this show. I think it bears repeating now. America, and I think a lot of the world, when we put it in perspective, America has a class problem disguised as a race problem. That is not me minimizing the race problem. That is me saying the race problem is profitable. You know the problem with peace? It's not profitable. You don't make money off peace. You make money off conflict. Conflict feeds the prison industrial complex. Conflict internationally feeds the military industrial complex because we are sold how, our way of life, our freedoms need to be protected, and we need soldiers and we need these astronomical military budgets to make sure our armed forces are ready.
They said America's more, like you said, the quote I think you sent me or something was like, America's more prepared to go to war than they are to protect their own people. So
and big, that
I say that's sad because if the pandemic proved otherwise, they paid you what, a total of what, $2,000 in over what, 2 years? But this militaries and police have drones and stuff, new drone dogs and shit.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. I forgot about that. We gotta talk about that next time. We gotta talk about that.
But yeah, it's crazy how they can't take care of their own people, but we're ready to go to war and fund our cops or fund our military to go to war, but we can't fund our own people to protect and make sure our people survive and thrive, which is what the whole point of a government is to do, to serve us. But whatever.
Right, and think about this, and I mean, in all fairness, we do have. Excuse me. America has a way of life that a lot of people in other countries want, and we have a lot of enemies. Not just actually, we really do. Long list of reasons why, but really do. But think about this to further prove your point and put it in real time. America pretty much told everybody to stay in the house and don't go to work a year ago, right? And from last year, from that point to this one, we have been given, let me see, 1,200, 2,000, $3,200 to make up for all of the wages lost, right? We just had a vote not too long ago, and where folks said no to raising minimum wage to $15. Shit ton of reasons, but minimum wage. Remember, the purpose of minimum wage originally was to provide people with a minimum living wage, as in you're not going to ball out and drive a 2021 brand new something. You're not going to have a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom mansion, but you should be able to pay your bills and not feel like you can do chin-ups on the poverty line. That's what minimum wage is for. Anyone understand a different way of that? By all means, hit the comment section. But that was voted down. But we have some inflated, bloated military budget that, no problem, sign right off. No problem. No problem there. So we need new jets. We need new tanks. The NYPD has fucking robot dogs, but we can't give people minimum wage. So, oh son of mine, you are absolutely correct. It is sad how we are so ready to fight the boogeyman, but we can't give people a minimum wage.
Or free healthcare. Or stuff, or free college, or stuff like that. Yeah. I guess that's socialism talking. We can't say that. That's taboo over here.
Right, socialism is a dirty word. So now, as I read somewhere, I love reading. I'm a reader, and I read a very interesting quote. If capitalism was so good, then why does it always need socialism to bail it out? Yeah. The TARP money from back in the Bush/Obama days, that was socialist as hell. You just made a whole bunch of money and gave it you gave it to the banks, but still, that was socialist. You bailed out Detroit. Natural market forces dictate if your business fails, it fails. You don't bail it out. Natural market forces take care of that. You could have gave that money to the taxpayers, and guess what we all would have did? Paid bills, paid off mortgages, housing crisis fixed. Guess what happens? If we pay those off, we got money left over, guess what we're probably gonna go do? Buy a car. Detroit saved. Wow. But no, you gave it back to the banks. You gave it back to the people who got us in this situation. Getting on topic though. On topic, but I got 100%. Chauvin fries, 100%. It's a wrap, done. Even if this wasn't such a high profile case, Chauvin fries. You still at 95%?
I mean, they're still high as hell. Like, there's still a very good chance he doesn't walk. I'm just not going to 100% because I'm sorry. I don't trust. I don't I don't trust him.
There is listen. If okay, so let's just say you were on trial for second degree murder, and someone said, "Yo, fam, it's a 5% chance we might beat this." Versus, listen, it's just a matter of we counting years at this point. It's a wrap. We just counting years. See how the difference is? See how different that goes? You hold on to the hope of the 5%. Ain't no hope here. You're done. You're toast.
I think he's
You're
done.
absolutely
I think
toast.
he's done. I'm just the 5% is not saying that he won't fry. The 5% is just I just don't trust people in our system. That's why it's there. Let me be perfectly clear. He's going to fry. The 5% is I just don't trust you.
Okay. So I'm going to shift a little bit. Since we're talking about pigs, we also have good news. We have good news. As you well know, the world's greatest city. I do not call it the world's greatest city because I literally believe everything there is great. Absolutely not. If anyone has ever lived, visited in New York for any extended period of time, you understand. Me calling it the world's greatest city is a kind of a running joke. It is the greatest city because everything is there. Every instance of abject poverty, every instance of extreme opulence, probably one of the most corrupt police forces on the planet. You can go from Manhattan to certain parts of every other borough and see like it almost looks like a war zone. So that is why I refer to the factory as the world's greatest city, and it moves at the speed of life. Here's some good news from the world's greatest city. They are the first city to move to end qualified immunity. Woo! Yes, sir. New York City has the largest police force in the country. So let's clear it up a little bit. What does this mean? Again, taking an article right off ABC News, qualified immunity is the practice of not being able to file a civil lawsuit against a government official performing his or her official duties unless they clearly establish statutory constitutional rights of which a reasonable person would have known. Long and short, this is kind of the shield they hide behind. How you can't sue these pigs for but so much, so on and so forth. They move to end it in New York City. 36,000 people put on that shield and grab a gun. 36,000 pigs, biggest police force in the country, and qualified immunity is moved to be taken away. This happened not long before Derek Chauvin's trial. So remember how we started off. I said things are changing and people are getting fed up with the BS. And it's like, some people are so entrenched in how things used to be that they can't see it any other way. The brother Sean King, I troll his page every now and again. It's the last place I look at just to see, just temperature check. And it was this NYPD, it was this pig from the NYPD talking about how the city should burn. Let's sit on your hands. Let the city realize that they need you. You don't need them. And I'm like, are you delusional? You're a pig. We don't actually need you. What do you, what? Huh? And I get it. New York is its own universe. There's 8.5 million people there. It's a different thing. But are you that delusional? Are you have that big of a God complex that you think people need you? But both sides, your thoughts, sir. So NYC ending qualified immunity and this pig having the audacity to talk about let the city burn or let the people realize they need us. We don't need them, or we the city needs us.
Hey, power to him. But yeah, I'm great that we're starting to see it. Hopefully, more states follow suit, and so hopefully the whole country will be like this. So that's one knock at their shield, the Captain America shield. All right, we're gonna talk about that. But one notch at their Captain America shield. So it's like, um, yeah, I don't know how much to say. That's good. That's great. I mean, screw the cop. Like I said, like most of your job, you're mostly just sitting there doing quotas and stuff. We know what they say. There's no such thing as a quota, but we all know there is.
There's no quota. What do you mean?
Sure. I said we did the numbers. Oh, what? It was like one in like what? I forgot. I forgot the numbers. I forgot. But that basically proves that most of the time you're not really doing anything. You're just making shit
Right.
and just bothering people for no reason. But yeah, props to New York. I'm glad you started. So hopefully everybody follows suit and we can get this stuff on the road. And oh yeah, the last thing we got to do is take a notch down from their union because that's still the world's most powerful union.
Ooh,
So if we
yeah,
take a crack
buddy.
at that, then we'll be swinging at God because that's basically God, is that union. So yeah, this is a good first step for man. Next step for humankind. We go after the union, baby. Yeah, let's go.
Right. Because it's like, and again, the overarching thing, and you and I had this conversation offline. I think we're going to expand on it because it's a very interesting piece. We were talking about the reality of the situation is people falsely believe pigs are necessary. And oh my God, the crime, without understanding the root causes of most crime, not all. Most crime, the biggest device of crime is poverty.
Yep.
People don't have to be rich if you had enough. If your like, here's the thing: for most Americans, I think we can get away with saying this: if your bills were paid and you could live comfortably, not lavishly, but if your bills is paid, you can live comfortably, take a trip or two. Where does crime come from? I don't need to rob you. I don't need to take your Jordans.
No
I
need
don't
to
want to
sell
jack your
drugs.
right.
Oh,
I don't need to jack your car. There. You eliminate the poverty. You eliminate most of the crime people are afraid of.
yep.
Oh, subsection 2 to that. Police don't prevent crime.
Nope.
They're there to clean up the mess. We are punitive, not preventative. We are comfortable punishing the monster. We are not doing a lot to prevent the monster. And again, you loop it right back. It's because the monster is profitable.
Yep. Like I said, that's why I have issues with certain things. Like I said, we always look at the monster, but we never target the creator of the monster. Like we yell and be afraid of Frankenstein, but we're not yelling and being afraid of the creator of Frankenstein, the doctor. And the doctor is basically the U.S. government. They're
Mm.
creating these monsters, and then we just throw them in cages and then think that's just going to solve the issue. That's not solving the issue. That's putting a band-aid over a freaking faucet leak. It's not going to help.
Right.
Man, like you said, we're in poverty. None of this happened. But there we go with socialism again. We can't be doing this, man.
You can't be giving people enough.
We can't
What?
be doing this, man. This has to, nah. How are we going to pay for all that? It's the taxpayers' dollars.
I mean, again, it's funny when you start, and it's funny until you realize how scary it is, and that saying of mine applies to a lot of things. Qualified immunity itself, I'm amazed at how many things today are rooted, have some kind of racist root to it. Just when you think, no, that's no way that's racist, you find out, oh snap, that might have been racist. So taking a peek here, looking at the city council speaker Corey Johnson from New York City, lauded the move, saying that the practice actually of qualified immunity was rooted in the nation's systemic racism. And I quote, qualified immunity was established in 1967 in Mississippi, that should tell you something right there, to prevent freedom riders from holding public officials liable even when they broke the law. This is a tweet. Rooted in our nation's history of systemic racism, qualified immunity denied freedom riders justice and has been used to deny justice to victims of police abuse for decades. It should never have been allowed, but I'm proud that we took action today to end it here in NYC. Again, hand claps for that. I will say it does seem to have a little bit of a caveat, though. Mayor de Blasio mentioned, quoting, it makes it easier if someone has a concern to bring legal action, but it does not put the individual financial penalty on the officer. It puts it on the department and the city, and that's what I was comfortable with. So if you're in New York City, the pigs beat you down wrongly, you can now sue them justifiably. While I was gonna pitch a fit about it not landing on the individual officer, technically, the old saying shit rolls downhill. If the new rule is they can sue the city, they can sue the department, everything else, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be on your ass to make sure you're out here beating people down and bringing about all these lawsuits. So while you're not gonna sue officer whoever for beating your ass, you will sue the department and they will get roasted because you don't want to be the person responsible for that bloated ass New York City Police Department budget taking hits. So while you can't sue the pig directly, you kind of sort of are going to get the same effect. But I'm glad it is gone. Again, it's a step in the right direction. I just don't think most people understand we don't need these pigs like we've been conditioned to believe we do. Right. There's still some crimes that would stick around even if poverty was gone. Sadly, I think we talked about DV would still be around if no one was poor.
Poor pedophiles, all that. Yeah,
it would still be around.
It would still be around.
But by and large, these pigs don't prevent crime, and in some instances, they actually contribute to it because a lot of shit doesn't happen if pigs ain't on people's payroll. But don't want to pull back those covers.
Oh boy, you just on a roll today with all this stuff, man.
Hey, Cube told me in '88. You know the song. Cube told me in '88, and it ain't been no different from that day to this one. Cube told me in '88. So, middle fingers to them pigs. That's really how that goes. And it's like I said, for those who might be new to the show, yes, I absolutely abhor and resent all law enforcement. There are no exceptions. The reasoning for that personally is my harassment at the hands of these pigs since 7th grade. Okay, I'm not going to get into that story, but let's just say my first run-in with these pigs came in 7th grade. Let's pretend, I was Clarence from 8 Mile, and Clarence's parents had a real good marriage, and I grew up in a great neighborhood, right?
Okay, Clarence.
Let's pretend, right? Ironically, we're going to talk about Clarence and Falcon and Winter Soldier. But anyway,
that's why.
Right, that's the funny part. Even if nothing had ever happened to me, statistically, when you look at the numbers, it's very hard to deny that Black people and people of color have had a very rough go of things at the hands of these pigs, more likely to be pulled over, more likely to be killed at the hands of police, stop and frisk. The New Jersey pigs, stopping and frisking, and how racial profiling. So even if nothing happened to me, the people designated to protect us tend to not, especially when you got this much melanin. What the boss say? The doctor you are, the really your problems. Okay, so there's that. But goodbye to qualified immunity and NYC. If you pigs are going to have a hissy fit about it, then you probably shouldn't have been pigs anyway. All right. So this next piece is a little. It's a toughie. You sent this to me. This is our great debaters section. And it's a tough one, but I think it kind of warrants discussion because if we are truly going to change, we have to face some ugly truths. So there was, and we don't have exact names because they are all minors. But the headline, no jail time order for 2 boys in death of 13-year-old Diego Stolz at Moreno Valley School. I believe this was in California. This is dated from March 29th.
Which had another match.
So,
by the way, go ahead.
Oh gosh, this is bad. First off, I gotta preface by saying this is a tragedy. All right. As a parent, as your parent, this is not a story I ever want to read. And it shakes me like because I don't know if there's much greater pain than burying your child. And this is that crazy thing that as parents we all warn y'all about, and then it happens, and it's like, what the hell? Um, Long story short, there was a young man that was being bullied in school. His two bullies got into a fight with him, if you will, after school. He was struck twice, hit the ground, hit his head, and later died. And what makes this interesting is the judge has decided to not give the bullies any jail time. And his thing was, we need to focus. I think he received community service, and we need to. For his idea was, we need to focus on rehabilitation. We need to focus on correct. We need to focus on preventing the bigger monster on the horizon. Ah, I do not deny the tragic nature of what has happened, but this may shock some. I actually agree with the judge here. I'll explain my reasoning why, but where do you sit?
I don't agree. They should see some time, but really, the people who should see the most time is the parents. It's the parents and the school officials. Because you haven't said it yet, but the parents have complained to the school officials about this bullying. So it's not like the kid was getting bullied, didn't say anything, and it just happened. Tragically, no. The kid told his parents, did what he's supposed to do. The parents told the school, did what they're supposed to do, and the school did nothing. They didn't suspend them. They didn't expel them. Didn't give them a warning. Nothing. So they kept bullying with immunity, and sadly, it ended up in a worse way of this young kid losing his life. So it's like the school officials and probably the parents of the bullies need to be charged for real, definitely. But I don't know. This is because, like I said, intent means nothing to the victim. So I don't know if the bullies meant or intended to uh kill the kid, but you did. So intent doesn't matter to the victim or the victim's family, parents, because no, like you said, no parents should have to ever bury the children. That's not how it should work. So yeah, I don't. Because will it be fair for them to get jail time? Yes, but will they be in jail for the rest of their life? No, but sometime, or if you don't give them jail time, they should be in probation for like till they're like 40 with backed up time, like we said off here. So like if they violated probation, you going to jail for a while, playboy. But if you don't do jail time, fine. I would just say probation till like 35, 40. And the parents get to take the majority of the charge. I mean, the parents and the school officials, mostly the school officials, because the parents did their job. Of the victims' parents did their job telling the school officials, and they did nothing. So they've been fired, I think, if I remember correctly. They got or, but they need a little bit more than that because you kind of cost a kid his life because you didn't protect him, especially
That's,
when the
that's,
parents complain. So you deserve to get bulk of that charge, whatever the kids get as well. But it's tragic. Like I said, if I was a parent, that was my kid, I would want them to fry. But being that I'm not the victim's parents, it's just like, I get what he's trying to say to try to rehabilitate so you don't make them more into monsters and get them to feel sorry for about what they did. And but I don't know, because I'm a guy of fairness, because then the eye for eye would technically be fair if they do go to jail. But I agree that, like I said, I agree they don't have to be in jail for the rest of their life. No, I don't think they have to, because they're minors. They made a dumb choice. But like I said, intent doesn't is only matters in the court of law. It doesn't matter to the victim. The victim is still dead. So it's like I don't know how to feel, because I'm trying to see from both perspectives of the parents and somebody just outside looking in, and I'm kind of torn because I don't know, because I don't believe in the jail system anyway, because it doesn't rehabilitate people at all. It just creates more monsters. So I I don't know, man. This is a tough one. It's extremely sad. Um, I wish his parents nothing but the best in his family. But yeah, they I think at most they should definitely get probation for a long time if they don't get jail time, which they didn't. But I don't think they got probation. I think they only got community service, which is whack. So they failed on that one. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is sad.
I mean, I here's the thing.
Go ahead, I'll come after you. I forgot something else I need to say, but go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I wait. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying because then on the flip side, because I told you it's off air. Let's say he didn't die from that beating, and he came back and his mom had an AR-15 or his dad had a gun, and he came back to school and aired that piece out and killed both of his bullies. We would want him to fry, and we would call him the monster, even though he was technically defending himself. And they gave many warnings. He told his parents. The parents told the school, but the school did nothing about it. So he took it in his own hands. And then I'm pretty sure he would get jail time for that. Even though technically, if you read his whole story and he did everything he was supposed to do, he told his peers, he told the adults, and adults did nothing and just sat by and let it keep happening. Like I said, like call a spade a spade. If he would have did that, he shouldn't deserve no jail time either. And that's how I feel. I know it's cold and it might be monstrous, but hey, if you'd have killed those two bullies, I wouldn't care.
I mean, this is and to your point, this is the downside of what happens because if you well, you were not even 3 years old yet. Yeah, you were barely alive, but Columbine happened in April '99, and I always wondered what would make you go to what would make you want to go to school and shoot up the school? Like school was safe. Yeah, you got bullied, you got into a fight, but school was safe. And then you had your ordeal at a not so great public school, and I finally understood watching what you went through. This is how what pushes kids to the edge. And it takes, and I see also it takes a village. And sadly, this young man didn't have a village that included school administrators because, like you said, the proper channels, excuse me, the proper channels were taken. What else do you do besides go to the teachers, go to the principal, and say, "Hey, my kid's getting bullied"? And there's supposed to be an intervention. There's supposed to be a sit down with the kids. There's supposed to be a sit down with the kids and the parents, and there's supposed to be suspensions. There's supposed to be something to keep things from rising to this level. My problem is a lot of people my age and slightly older have this old dumbass line of thinking that people your age and younger, oh, y'all soft. You just deal with bullies a certain way. You fight back. You blah, 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 blah. Y'all too sensitive. No, 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 and no. People your age and younger are sensitive, but not in a negative sense. People your age and younger are in tune with what they feel, with what hurts. And we should have never told you all what we were told. I just suck it up. You don't be all emotional. No, that's called being human. And shit hurts. And this is the end result. And like you said, bullies inherently are created. So what was going on at these two kids' homes that they felt it was okay to come beat on this young man? And this is worst case scenario. This is, we tell you as parents, tie your shoes up. Why? Because you're going to run and step your damn shoelace. It's like a 0.5% of that actually happening, right? But when it does, you're going to face plant. Don't be doing no goofy stuff, messing around in school because you might fall and hurt yourself. And this is that fear come to life. This is a schoolyard fight with the worst possible outcome. I'm sure they didn't think when they punched this kid, he was going to hit his head and die.
Yeah.
But here we are.
But he did.
Right. And here we are.
Like I said, intent doesn't matter to the victim.
Agreed.
Still did.
And I think the thing is with this, you pull back some ugly covers. It goes back to this isn't a poverty matter per se, but it is prison industrial complex matter. And the judge is quoted here. If we do this, I'm paraphrasing, but if we do this a certain way, you may as well reserve their space in state prison now. And that's the truth. It's called a correctional facility, but let's be real. This country has the highest incarceration rate on the planet. We have a high ass recidivism rate. Prison is not designed to correct you, regardless of what they say. A lot of people come out worse than when they went in, or they come out better criminals than when they went in. If we're going to talk about peace, if we're going to talk about being better humans, if we're going to talk about preventing the monster, I get the judge did the unpopular thing, but this is how we prevent the monster. Because were these kids little shits, little assholes of being bullies? Yes. Are they monsters yet? No.
Yeah, that part. Like I said, I'm not gonna put the full blame on them because, like I said, the school officials should have done more to prevent this because this could have been preventable. Even if the kids are monsters, this could have been prevented, but you did nothing. So this is what happened. So it's like monsters are not monsters. Y'all didn't stop them.
I mean,
I think they were kind of monsters because, like, I think you're a monster if you're trying to bully somebody. Like, who are you? But that's just how
someone that's
personally.
probably, but that's probably somebody that's probably being bullied themselves.
I get that, but there comes to a certain point where you gotta like take out your anger in another way, not on another person. But that's just me. Being
You're
angry.
having a very adult thought to a very teenage mind. Like you're making perfect sense, but that's a very adult approach, and trying to apply that to someone as 13, 14 going through puberty and
Look,
everything else that
I
comes on
get
being a
it. I get it.
teenager.
I was an angry kid too, but I never bullied anyone. I had my own issues too, as
Ah,
you know. I had my own issues. I had my own anger problems. I never bullied anyone. So I don't see the point in that. In fact, when I was in middle school, I got suspended for bullying a bully.
yeah, that. Yeah,
So,
that.
so yeah, like maybe it's like I said, maybe that's just me. Like I said, I have my own issues, I have my own anger problems, but I never took it out on anybody outside of myself, which is probably not good. But yeah, so yeah, like I don't know, maybe that's just me. I just never see myself trying to bully somebody. That's just not who I
We
am.
we have this approach again, and people my age and older, we have this thing about fight back and fight the bully and punch the bully in the mouth, and that's eye for an eye. You can't claim to be a quote unquote Christian nation and openly endorse and practice eye for an eye.
Oh,
It's an oxymoron.
I endorse the defending yourself though. Like somebody punch you in the mouth, you have a right to defend yourself. I endorse
Agreed.
that.
Agreed. But that's not necessarily eye for an eye. But I'm like, it's this notion of beat the bully. How about we diffuse the bully? How about we haul their ass and their parents in here and find out what the problem is? And if we can't get their parents in there, then you don't come back to school till you come back with a parent. How about we figure out what's going on in this kid's home? And if it sounds like a lot, this is what teachers and administrators need to do because it still takes a damn village. I mean, I get it. The judge has made an unpopular decision. Everyone's pissed off. But then we have to ask ourselves, then what would you have him do? Lock them up and throw away the key for life? Like what do we do? Because even if they were adults, if we at the club, you know what I mean, shit get a little tense, we step outside, get a throwing blows, you fall down and die, that's involuntary manslaughter. Even that doesn't have a life sentence.
Right.
So I'm like, what would you have him do? Like, you need rehab. We need to prevent a bigger monster. And I certainly don't think if we talk to these two young men, they out here bragging about, yo, I hit that kid and he died. I don't think that's the case.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't think so either, but I hope not. But obviously,
Because I'm like, Then we start talking a different conversation. Like, is there some mental issue going on where you have a problem, recognizing, are you borderline sociopathic? Like, that's a different conversation. But I don't think they out here on these streets and on Facebook and IG, y'all hit that kid and he dies, son. Nah, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, I don't even. Again, maybe there's an age difference. I don't even think that's I don't even think that's a remote possibility.
Well,
because you were sitting there facing some jail time.
Yeah, they're not gonna say nothing public like on Instagram, like you just said. Hell no, because that would be stupid. That would be.
Do you know your generation? I'm sorry. Have you seen your generation?
Oh, no. This is a younger generation. Don't put my generation in it. But
yeah, my point exactly. It ain't getting no better.
I mean, yeah.
Right, y'all the same cats on IG with guns and drugs and wonder why the feds is at your door. Like,
some people your age, or older generation.
Nah, B. We cats my age ain't.
Yeah, people in there talking about showing good. Yeah, there's just some OGs out there showing their pistol whenever they get into an argument on IG Live. Like, yeah, I got the heat on me for real, homie. You see it?
And you wonder why the feds is at your door. Oh, I give it to you because this cat's out here talking reckless on Vlad TV and wonder why they're getting indicted. Like, yeah, man, we was at the club. We was like 50 deep. It was me, Chino, Big Mike, just dropping names. He had the AR, he had the 40 cal. So, okay, I'll give you that. This cat's on Vlad, just talking all kind of reckless. All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But by and large, that's y'all. That's y'all. I'm on the money phone. I got a key of Coke on the table. Like,
hey, ain't got nothing to do with me, Playboy. It got nothing to do with me.
But nah, they ain't in these streets talking about how they punched a kid, he died. Not when you facing like, what involuntary manslaughter carries. Like, I'm sure they got it real straightened up real quick. Like, can you imagine being 15, 16 and thinking you going up like for 15 years? You gonna spend all of the time of your life you supposed to spend effing up, from like 16 to 30, you gonna be on lock. That ain't gonna be real fun, champ. So no, I think they were scared shitless. I think the message has been sent because you didn't know what this judge was gonna do, minor or no minor. And you also know how this country has a penchant for just tossing out, oh, we're gonna charge him as an adult. So yeah, I don't think they was out in these streets talking reckless about what happened. And I just don't think, if we're really gonna change, if we are really gonna decide to be better humans, these are the things where it starts. The administrators got fired, the principal was fired, the vice principal, I do believe, was fired, and someone else was fired as well. And that's not a small potatoes thing. You understand something. Certain professions you go into, that there's no coming back from that. Like, you'll never work in teaching again. Like, that's you're done. It's like a lawyer. If you get disbarred, you're not a lawyer ever again. That's it. Same thing, you get your medical license revoked as a doctor. You're done. Done. All that money and all them student loans, but nothing. You're done. So it's a big deal that they got fired. Because unless you're going to work somewhere in a private sector for preschool kids, you're done. And I don't even know if that's possible.
They still need to be charged, though, because you cost that boy his life.
You know what? I can't even argue your point. That as a teacher, you're supposed to be there as a protector. And believe me, I understand that, especially in certain districts, teachers are going through hell. They're definitely going through hell. And you have parents that are not involved and so on and so forth. But I can't explain this one away. You're right. You're absolutely right. There's nothing I can do about it. And they rightfully were fired. I don't know if you can charge them with something. I don't know how that works.
Negligence? Oh, am I saying that right?
Negligence? Yeah, you're welcome. Negligence, I got you. But
But yeah, that it's like I said, they parents did what the kid did what he was supposed to do, and parents did what they were supposed to do. They told you, and you did nothing about it, and this ended up him being dead.
And
So
you can't undo that.
you
You
can't
can't
undo
undo
it.
that.
You can't. You can't say, "Whoops! Oh, we should have listened." Damn.
I mean, and I can now see this is the part where I don't know because we're talking about adults and teaching is one of those things I don't think a lot of people get into for check. You get into teaching because you want to help students, because you want to make a difference. I know a lot of teachers and what they do is well beyond what they're paid. So where I'm going with this is
Yeah.
I don't I don't think them getting fired is like okay whatever. I do believe I could be totally wrong, but I firmly do believe that was just a formality in the sense of they gotta sleep at night. Why didn't I do something to keep this from happening? Why didn't I do more? You gotta sleep with that for the rest of your life. A
Every,
kid died on your watch
right.
because your ineffectiveness, because of your inability to do something. So I don't think, I think them being fired, it's tip of the iceberg. The mental anguish ain't going nowhere.
True, but like I said, I blame more the principals and this the office people in the office more because they have more power. So
Agreed.
like a teacher already has enough on their plate, like I said. So I'm not going to
Agreed.
necessarily blame a teacher for that, but I'm going to blame the administrative offices completely because that's your
Absolutely.
job.
Agreed.
That's literally your job.
Right. You had one job. Normally we say that jokingly, but no, literally, you had one job here. You had one job here. And like I said, I really and I know, we joke a lot and your generation gets a lot of shit, but I think your generation and below are getting a lot of shit right. And I'm happy to see people your age and younger take a very different approach to bullying and how serious it's taken now. And I'm hopeful that that trend continues. Your generation has been the turning point and the tipping point for a lot of bullshit that people my age were brought up to believe. You probably may or may not recall, but I was real hardcore about teaching you physical violence is the last resort. The reason for that is because I was brought up with somebody hit you, hit him back. And that's a real basic, damn near caveman ideal that a lot of people my age never shook. So that's why is, yo, you bumped me, you wouldn't fight. Like, dog, I'm not, you bumped me, you didn't say excuse me. I didn't make you an asshole, but I'm not gonna fight you over it. Because you know what that is in real life? An assault charge. But a lot of people my age and older had this thing, respect, you know what I mean? You bump me, we gonna beef it. What you catching a charge for, homie? Because somebody told you somewhere in your life, somebody hit you, you gotta hit them back. And you can't see the big freaking picture. Like if I'm of the mindset, if ain't nobody bothering you or whoever I'm with, and it ain't for the cause of black liberation, I ain't seeing nobody's jail cell. That's it and that's all. Call me punk, call me whatever. If I'm in a jail cell, it's for three very good reasons, but it ain't gonna be because of some perceived disrespect. And that's why I tried to raise you as best I could. Yeah. Violence is the absolute last resort because as an adult, that's gonna carry a whole different thing.
Hey, like you know what they say, a true king is never seeking war, but is always prepared for it.
Speak on it. So I agree with the judge here. We want to prevent the monster, or we want to prevent this mini monster from becoming a bigger monster. And you don't do that by sending these young men to jail. I think, I think programs like Scared Straight can still probably work. Because a lot of these young dudes, they hear these rap dudes talking this yin yang, da 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 da. Yeah, take them to the state pen for a day. Let them see what that life really like. See if you still hardcore then. Just saying. I can tell you right now, I ain't designed for jail. I ain't built for jail. Call it what you want. I ain't built for jail, yo. Shit, I'm barely built for the pandemic. I don't like being in my house all day, let alone being in a cell, like half the size of my house. Oh hell no, hell no, no. But yeah, I agree with the judge here. We're trying to prevent the monster, and there's no real fun way to do that in this instance. Okay, Last bit. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 2. Until further notice, I will refer to this dude as a great value ass Captain America. Great value ass Captain America, boy. I'm like, dude, you. And it's just so, it's amazing how art imitates life because he can just show all American white boy for real. And he just think he the shit because he got the shield. And I'm like, bruh. And I'm thinking if I'm Winter Soldier and Falcon, like, dog, we fought Thanos. What'd you do? like, really? So you can throw the shield, you the shit now? But yeah. Oh, my bad. Probably gonna be some spoilers in here somewhere. So if you watching it, don't want the spoilers, turn off now. But yeah, great value ass Captain America. And then his homeboy. I was like, they're like, who you? You ain't even you the roadie? You the groupie? What purpose do you serve? Because they was fighting on top of the truck. He got his ass whooped first. Like, where'd you even come? But
He's just Bucky.
Yeah, right. The bootleg Bucky, the great value ass Bucky is that. Your thoughts on the show so far, though, man? I'm loving the show overall, and I can't wait to see where this goes. But what you thinking?
I love it. Like I said, I already watched episode 3 last night, so I'm ahead right now. So I'm trying.
How you watch episode 3?
Because it came out last night.
I'm on episode 2. Episode 3 just came. Oh, see, all right, cool. Continue though. I'm on episode. I just finished episode 2.
But remember, new episodes come out every Friday.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Okay, all right. Cool. Well, we talk about next week.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think back of episode 2. That's when they was fighting on the trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, he pisses me off, but I know where Marvel's going because I did my little research, my little nerdy research, my geeky research.
Comic nerd research.
Yeah, my comic geek research, but like, just to see where they're going with this, because I didn't know who the hell he was. I'm like, what the hell? I thought Sam was going to come back and get Winter Soldier was going to be Captain America. I didn't know he was going to make a bootleg version of him already. But
right.
I mean, hey, fight scenes are cool. Like I said, episode 3, the ending has a woo boy. Rest in peace, Chad. Rest in peace. But ooh, that's a little spoiler, but
we talking about episode 2, man. You're jumping ahead. We talking about episode 2.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying at the end of episode 3, it's about to get on and popping. And then episode 2, they did show they're going to talk to Zemo, right?
Yeah, I'm like, they're going to talk to the mains.
Episode
I'm like, uh-oh.
It's on this
real.
Yeah, episode 3.
Real.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Like, so
okay, I'm gonna watch that.
But episode 2 was great. It's like, yeah, like, and it's funny because Bucky got the cold stare ever. Like, he's just gonna stare through your soul. He's just looking at bootleg back Captain America like, what? What's wrong?
Like, I'm out. Like he's like, I'm like, dog, you ain't even a super soldier, my G. Like, they don't. All you can do is throw the shield. Like, you're not even a super soldier. What are you? You just got the shield.
I think he is. Well, I don't know. The way
I don't think he is.
It seemed like he was. Because he was getting a couple hits and they was going flying. So I was like, maybe he is. And then, like, when he.
Remember. There's a super soldier in Baltimore.
Hey. But that was episode 2. Yeah. That no one ever heard of.
That no one ever knew about.
Yeah, right. Like that. They just did him cruddy. Like, damn, bro. Like, you was a super soldier and the first black one and no one knew. Like, I'm
and see,
I'm with Sam. I'm upset. Like, how the hell did that happen? And apparently he gave the Winter Soldier the business back in the day. So he must have been cold.
But yeah, I'm like, it wasn't interesting though. They come out, all of a sudden pigs show up and surround them. Let's see some ID for what? I gotta show you shit for what I gotta show you ID for. And that's how it starts. So I gotta give it up to the writers at Marvel for seemingly forever being in line with the times.
Right. I
Like
think,
forever,
yeah.
yeah. Being in line with the times. That's just how it goes. Like, okay, so we just started having a conversation and the pigs show up. Let's see some ID. Sir, is this man bothering you?
And I was like, yeah, when that happened, I was like, yep, here we go. That's Baltimore.
Right,
That's real life.
exactly.
I was like, yep, here we go. That's real life right there, boy. I tell you. And they was making sure to talk to Bucky, like, you okay, sir? Like, yeah, we're just having a conversation. I'm gonna see some ID. Oh, wait, you're the Falcon guy. I love
Oh,
you.
my bad.
My bad. I thought you were just a typical nigga. My bad. But that's
Right.
crazy.
I'm like, this is way too real. Way too real. Like,
Wait,
wow.
here
And then everybody watches like, see, here we go with the bullshit. Here we go
we
with the
go.
bullshit. Baltimore PD. Here we go with the bullshit.
Here we go. Hey, it's true though. It's true.
Just wow. But yeah, episode 2 is dope. We getting further into it. I'm curious to see when they go talk to Zemo and then the bootleg ass Captain America, great value Captain America talking about, well, if you don't want to join us, I just got a word of advice. Stay out of our way.
Oh, what?
So again, I repeat, I was beefing with Thanos, bro. What was you doing? Being a bootleg ass Captain America? Like, shut up. Like, shut up, yo. Just stop. Just stop. Like, I'm just like, shout out to Sam and Bucky for not smacking him right there. Like, what's wrong with you? What the hell? Like, oh my god. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see episode 3. That's out now, so I'm gonna check that out later today. But running back recap. Let's start from the top. Yankee season, boys and girls. Get in line. Get on the train. It is not too late. Get your pinstripes. Get on point. Get on point. 100% chance. Derek Chauvin fries. It's over. It's a wrap. Good night, Irene. Fat lady is singing all that. You are done. Your life is over. Guilty on all counts. Bye. Thank you for playing the feud. Qualified immunity being ended in the world's greatest city, New York, for those who don't know by now. Also a very, 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 very good thing. Hopefully, like you said, that spreads. The judge in the case in California, I have to agree, and I have to try to be objective because as a parent, that's tough. And of course, the only thing I can do is try to put myself in that position if something happened to you. And it's like the human thing is revenge. The human thing is anger and hatred. And I want those kids to fry. The more human thing is to say, look, I don't ever have to forgive y'all, but I don't want y'all to end up being bigger menaces to society. And I think those two things can't exist. I don't ever have to forgive you. I'm not going to do the whole, I forgive you. Nah, you killed my kid. Be happy I have enough restraint to not off you myself. But I also don't want you to spend the rest of your life in state prison for a mistake you made as a teenager. And lastly, Winter Soldier and Falcon, bootleg ass, great value ass Captain America. I just can't wait. I know it's an ass whooping coming. We probably won't get to the last couple episodes, but there's an ass whooping coming. I read some message boards and theories about how this is going to be some kind of new villain, but I mean, we already straight away because technically in comic book lore, if I'm not mistaken, Winter Soldier becomes the new Captain America. So we kind of went away when he gave the shield to Sam in the first place. But yeah, I can't wait to see great value ass Captain America get his ass whooped eventually. Your recap, sir.
Yeah. Derek is gonna fry. Hopefully. Um, Shout out to NYC for doing that, and hopefully the rest of the country can follow suit, and we can start going at that union. So yeah. Um, like I said, I guess I kind of agree. Like I said, if I was a parent, I would probably want him to fry and probably want to kill him myself, like you just said. But since I'm not, I would want them to have probation until they're like 35, and they'll have to go to therapy, and they will have to have a psychological evaluation as along with their parents. Their parents will have to have that too, and all the officials in the school should be fired in charge. That would be my perfect world with that. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yep, it's a great show. You still need to watch WandaVision because that was a great show too. But uh, yeah, episode 3, it goes down, my brother. It goes down. And watch to the end because you'll be shocked. You would not see that coming. You'll be like, whoa, it's about to get real now. But can't wait for episode 4. But yeah.
All right. So everybody, you know what to do. Please, if you're listening on the listening platforms, we appreciate and love you always. If you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else, like, subscribe, share, get the word out. We over here, going back to my era, kicking the ballistics. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of the I Said It podcast. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. Peace.
Yeah.